Hi, I'm Crystal and I'm codependent. There's a section that we read every week, and it says, most of us have been searching for ways to overcome our dilemmas because our lives are codependent, and it's mostly deeply rooted in compulsive behaviors that is born out of our sometimes moderately, sometimes extremely dysfunctional family systems. I have to admit to myself something I keep going back into my denial about, and that's that I'm not only codependent, but I'm also a domestic violence survivor. It's hard for me to say that because I still have a lot of love for my husband, and I have a lot of love for my late father, who died when I was only 17 years old. But because my father taught me how to be fearful of him, I learned how to be very, very carefully codependent, walking around eggshells and being super submissive and very vulnerable to the needs of others, to prevent their anger, or to prevent their wrath, or to prevent their disappointment or whatever. And so when I met my husband and I shut my mouth and closed my eyes and was all ears, ready to learn what he wanted me to be, I became what he wanted me to be. So I recognize that I've got a lot more growth and healing to do, but one thing that happened last week in my Wednesday CODA group that I go to is at the very end of our thing, the person in charge says, "And Crystal, would you like to read the 12 promises tonight?" Because everybody knows that I really love reading the 12 promises at the end of every meeting. And I do it over there too. And I just kind of chuckled, and I decided to write something about the 12 promises, and I was going to share it with you tonight. It's not that long, at least I hope not. So, all right. Number 1, I know a new sense of belonging. I don't feel like I belong anywhere right now, but the 12 promises give me hope as I read these words. I look forward to the feelings of emptiness and loneliness disappearing. 2, I am no longer controlled by my fears. The first step was becoming aware of my fears. Second step was recognizing that fear is not always fact. And third step was acting with courage, integrity, and dignity anyways, despite my fears. 3, I know a new freedom. I've never been this free, and they are right. The truth shall set you free. And then number 4, I just stopped writing down. I release myself from worry, guilt, and regret about my past and present. I'm aware enough not to repeat it. Well, I release myself from shame too. Sometimes it's not even my shame that I'm carrying. The shame belongs elsewhere, but not with me. 5, I know a new love and acceptance of myself and others. I feel genuinely loving, lovable, and loved. Loving myself is key. I hope love from others will be genuine once I learn to love myself genuinely. 6, I learned to see myself as equal to others. My new and renewed relationships are all with equal partners. Just like in that Netflix show, Made, that guy with all the money loved her. He wanted her to be with him, but it wasn't equal. 7, I am capable of developing and maintaining healthy and loving relationships. The need to control and manipulate others will disappear as I learn to trust those who are trustworthy. Compared to 7 months ago, when I first walked into this group, I hardly know the girl that I used to be, always passively trying to control the outcome. 8, I learned that it is possible for me to mend, to become more loving, intimate, and supportive. I have a choice of communicating with my family in a way which is safe for me and respectful for them. This one I'm still learning. I know that I am not a victim. I have choice. I am still learning that my family doesn't have to meet my secret wishes. They have choice too. 9, I acknowledge that I am a unique and precious creation. I am so unique. I've always known this, but I used to believe others when they would call me weird. But I cry every time I read this every single week. I acknowledge that I am a unique and precious creation. This helps me tremendously with self-love. 10, I no longer need to rely solely on others to provide my sense of self-worth. I still learn for the love and attention of others, especially if I can help them. It provides me a sense of worth. Now when I feel the urges to do the pretzel twist for other people, I am aware. I stop and I make new choices. And if I do the pretzel twist, I forgive myself. 11, I trust the guidance I receive from my higher power and the outcome and come to believe in my own capabilities. My higher power didn't step in until I was at my wit's end, when I was exhausted and I had no clue. I finally surrendered and everything changed. I've learned to surrender and I've had to surrender several times. 12, I gradually experienced serenity, strength, and spiritual growth in my daily life. I hope that with me sharing my experience, my serenity, my strength, and my spiritual growth in my daily life, that it will give you hope like the 12 promises give me too. Thank you. Thank you.
As we bring this meeting to a close, I would like to remind you that CODA is an anonymous program. We ask that what is said here, when you leave here, let it stay here.
Here, here.
As we close this meeting, may I please have a volunteer read the 12 promises found on page 5.
I could read it. 1, I know a new sense of belonging. The feeling of emptiness and loneliness will disappear. 2, I am no longer controlled by my fears. I overcome my fears and act with courage, integrity, and dignity. 3, I know a new freedom. 4, I release myself from worry, guilt, and regret about my past and present. I'm aware enough not to repeat it. 5, I know a new love and acceptance of myself and others. I feel genuinely lovable, loving, and loved. 6, I learn to see myself as equal to others. My new and renewed relationships are all with equal partners. 7, I am capable of developing and maintaining healthy and loving relationships. The need to control and manipulate others will disappear as I learn to trust those who are trustworthy. 8, I learned that it is possible for me to mend, to become more loving, intimate, and supportive. I have the choice of communicating with my family in a way which is safe for me and respectful of them. 9, I acknowledge that I am a unique and precious creation. 10, I no longer need to rely solely on others to provide my sense of worth. 11, I trust the guidance I receive from my higher power and I come to believe in my own capabilities. 12, I gradually experience serenity, strength, and spiritual growth in my daily life.
Thanks. And if you'll turn to page 6, we'll read the CODA closing prayer together. We
Thank our higher power for all that we have received from this meeting. As we close, may we take with us the wisdom, love, acceptance, and hope of recovery.
Thank you.